Welcome to Group 2, and we are going to discuss today about the homeschool link topic. This is under episode number 6 of FS1 Field Study. So, as an overview of our topic, this episode provides the opportunity for us to have this more understanding and deep study of factors that affect the development of a learner. We are going to focus on the early experiences and characteristics of the learners described by the family and other significant factors. So as we go through with the topics, remember these two objectives. Number one is we were able to describe the influencing factors in the home environment that really affects the students' learning. Number two, we're able also to identify the effective strategies on how teachers can work together with the family. And do not forget that we will be also rated accordingly with this criteria. So what are these criteria? Number one is the quality of the observations and documentation. Number two, of course, the completeness and depth of analysis. Number three, the depth and clarity of classroom observation-based reflection. And number four, completeness, organization, clarity of portfolio, and lastly, the time of submission of portfolio. Now let us proceed to the learning essentials. So Yuri Bronfenbrenner's bioecological model presents the learner within the context of layers of relationship system that make up the learner's environment. So we are going to talk about 5 layers. What are these layers? What are these systems that really affect the learners through his or her environment? Okay, so number one is microsystem. The microsystem is the first level of Bronfenbrenner's theory and are the things that have direct contact with a child's uh, immediate environment, such as parents, siblings, teachers, and school peers. Relationship in the microsystems are bidirectional, meaning the child can be influenced by other people in their environment and is also capable of changing the belief and action of other people too. Furthermore, the reactions of the child to individual in their microsystem can influence how they can also be treated by other people. The interactions within the microsystems are often very personal and are crucial for fostering and supporting the child's development. If a child has a strong nurturing relationship with their parents, this is said to have a positive impact on the child, whereas distant and unaffectionate parent will have a negative effect on a child as well. Number two is mesosystem. The mesosystem encompasses the interactions between the child's microsystem, such as interaction between the child's parents and teachers, or between school peers and siblings. The mesosystem is where a person's individual microsystem do not function independently, but are interconnected and assert influence upon one another. For instance, if a child parents communicate with a child's teachers, this interaction may influence the child's development. Essentially, a mesosystem is a system of microsystems. Accordingly, ecological systems theory, if the child's parents and teachers get along and have a good relationship, this should have a positive effect on the child's development, compared to a negative effect on the development if the teachers and parents do not get along. Number three is ecosystem. The ecosystem is a component of the ecological system theory developed by still the Yuri Bronfenbrenner in the 1970s. It incorporates other formal and informal social structures which do not themselves contain in the child but indirectly influence them as they affect one of the microsystems. For example, of ecosystems includes the neighborhood, parents' workplace, parents' friends, and the mass media. These are the environment in which the child is not involved and external to their experiences but nonetheless affects them anyway. An instance of ecosystem affecting the child's development could be if one of the parents have a dispute with their boss at work. The parent may come home and have a short temper with the child as a result of something which happened in the workplace, so resulting in a negative effect on development. Number four, macro system. The macro system is a component of the Brenner's ecological system theory that focuses on how cultural elements affect a child's development, such as socioeconomic status, wealth, of course, poverty, and ethnicity. Thus, culture that individuals are immersed within may influence their belief and perceptions about events that transpire in life. The macro system differs from the previous ecosystem as it does not refer to the specific environment of one developing child, but the already established society and culture which the child is developing in. This can also include the socioeconomic status, ethnicity, geographic allocation, the ideologies of the culture. For example, a child living in a third world country would experience a different development than a child living in a wealthier country. Number five, lastly, the chrono system. So the fifth and final level of Bronfenbrenner's ecological system theory is known as the chrono system. So this system consists of all the environmental changes that occur over the lifetime which influence development. So including major life transition and historical events. This can include normal life transitions such as starting school, but can also include non-normative life transitions such as parent getting a divorce or having to move to a new house. So that's the chrono system. So those are the five layers, the systems that Yuri Bronfenbrenner's presents. And now the model helps the teachers look into every aspect, the learner's environment to understand his behavior. Of course, we have to understand what is happening to a learner or to a student depending on the status of his background. So we have to understand that. The teacher's important role is not to replace, okay? Not to replace what is missing at home, but to work so that the school may become an environment that welcomes and nurtures families. The teacher works to create partnership with the family and the community to bring out the best in them.